Welcome back. You're watching News Centre. The big political story: a Surat court has found Congress leader Rahul Gandhi guilty in a 2019 criminal defamation case filed by former Gujarat Minister Parnesh Modi. So, what does the defamation law really state, and where does this leave Rahul Gandhi as far as his defamation case is concerned? We've got with us senior advocate Sanjay Hegde. But before that, let's go across to Ashmit Kumar to understand the defamation law and what is the status of Rahul Gandhi now really. Ashmit.
Well, defamation again in focus on account of this development out of Surat. There are a few options that Rahul Gandhi has. We'll come to that in just a bit. But for the benefit of our viewers, just to go into what exactly the defamation law entails. Well, Section 499 of the IPC provides for defamation. As per Section 499, any imputation concerning any person intending to harm or knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation will cause harm, the reputation of such person is said to defame that person. That's broadly the legal definition of what qualifies as defamation. But what is critical here, and this is what is relevant to Rahul Gandhi, is the very subsequent section, Section 500. This is the section that empowers the court to slap a penalty, a fine, or a jail term of up to 2 years. Now, it's very seldom that we've seen convictions. The conviction rates are normally low in the criminal defamation matters, and very rarely have we seen 2-year jail sentences. But nonetheless, what are the options? Well, one of the consequences of this order, other than, of course, the obvious, which is the jail term, is disqualification as an MP. Now, Rahul Gandhi, under Representation of People's Act, will be facing a disqualification on account of this 2-year jail term. Now, what's important here is that under the RP Act, if a jail term of 2 years is granted, an MP stands disqualified, subject to a 3-year notice from the date of conviction. What is interesting here is that if Rahul Gandhi chooses to appeal this, which he likely will before the High Court, and if the High Court grants stay, then there is no question of disqualification. However, if the High Court refuses stay, then the question again arises. He may get disqualified 3 months from the date of conviction. As far as the defamation proceedings itself are concerned, well, it has broadly been criticized as a tool to, in fact, strategically intimidate and to silence criticism. This has been, in fact, subject matter of litigation. But what's important to note is that a bench headed by former CJI, led by Justice Deepak Mishra, has in fact upheld the constitutionality of criminal defamation. So the law is here to stay as of right now, courtesy that 2016 judgment. But of course, the debate rages on.
All right. Thanks, Ashmit, for joining us. Let's kick off this discussion with Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate. Mr. Hegde, coming to you, does the judgment in this particular matter, which has been delivered by a Surat court against Rahul Gandhi, for comments suggesting that why are all people with the surname Modi thieves? Is there a direct imputation, the direct imputation test? Has that been clearly proved in the judgment? Do you think that is a point that Rahul Gandhi's lawyers could take when they go to a high court?
Well, I can't tell you what all Rahul Gandhi's lawyers will take or will not take. There would be more senior minds than mine who will decide that. But the point is that this was a public speech, and a public speech on political questions. So right now he stands convicted, not for defaming a particular Modi, but for defaming Modis in general. You must remember that here the complainant was also a gentleman called Modi. What further steps that Rahul's defense team will take? Obviously, they will go in an appeal. The question is whether the High Court will stay the conviction or will it only stay the sentence? Because then there are different consequences. If his conviction is stayed, then obviously there can't be questions of disqualification. But if it's only the sentence that is stayed, then probably from the High Court, or it might even land up in the Supreme Court.
Right. It has been said, and it's often said, that conviction in defamation cases, the rate may be low, but these cases tend to drag on. And the people against whom these cases are filed, they do suffer on account of protracted litigation. How do you think this could affect his political prospects as an MP, considering that Lok Sabha elections will take place next year?
Well, I am not a politician. I cannot tell you how it would politically play out. But you must remember that when Mrs. Indira Gandhi, during the period that she was out of power, she was twice sent to jail. It only helped her. Right now in the US, you have President Trump waiting for an indictment. And it is said that he actually wants to be handcuffed so that he gets further votes and consolidates his base. How it will politically pan out, I do not know. But I must say that this judgment is rather unusual insofar as the severity of the sentence is concerned. The judge had an option of even fining. To say that, not all people called Modi are guilty or innocent, I am not very sure that it actually runs afoul of the section. But those are arguments which will no doubt be made in court later.
Mr. Hegde, when it comes to the Supreme Court has upheld the validity of sections of the law relating to defamation and the punishment there. But give us a sense, if we go by the Supreme Court precedents, what is the test that the Supreme Court has successively applied to judge defamation cases?
I do not know of any Supreme Court case which has upheld a sentence of 2 years. Many years ago, even before I became a lawyer and I was accompanying my father to a court where he was representing somebody who had been sentenced for 6 months. I remember Justice Daud of the Bombay High Court saying, "What? 6 months for defamation? Unheard of." So the statute, no doubt, is there on the statute book. It has been upheld constitutionally, but its application in such a harsh manner is rather unknown.
So would it be right to assume that as and when this goes into appeal, and the Congress has already said that they will be appealing against this verdict, do you feel that the High Court will now look at the test of direct imputation to someone? Was anyone directly hurt? Was there a direct personal injury to someone? And the severity of the punishment. Do you think these are two issues that will be taken in account at the High Court level?
It will obviously be taken into account. Every argument that is made will be taken into account. But, this only might end up spreading the question, are all Modis guilty of something or not? I do sense that there will be several people saying several things about Modis in general, which might be capable of more than one interpretation.
Right. When it comes to conviction, how strong is the conviction rate? It is often said that conviction rates in defamation cases are low, but what would be the rate? What would be the success rate in cases like these? How many of them get settled out of court or get thrown out of court, Mr. Hegde?
Most defamation cases, even when criminal defamations are filed, do not end in a conviction. Some of them, they get settled when people give an apology and the complainant withdraws. You saw that in the Aam Aadmi cases where where there were defamations filed by Mr. Jaitley and a whole host of other people. Convictions are very rare in defamation. And particularly in a case where you have to prove an imputation and an innuendo. I do not think that Mr. Rahul Gandhi even knew that there was a particular Mr. Modi who was a former MLA in Gujarat and intended to say anything about him.
Right. And finally, a question on his status as MP. When does he get disqualified as a result of this judgment? And what is the legal recourse that he has?
No, the legal recourse will obviously have to be with regard to the judgment itself. If he gets a stay on his conviction, then there is no question of a disqualification. Otherwise, the parliamentary process of disqualification will happen. And against that, there might not be a legal recourse, because as far as Parliament is concerned, it is sovereign in its functioning within Parliament. But Rahul Gandhi will be in illustrious company. Right. You must remember that Indira Gandhi was also convicted by Parliament and disqualified after she had got re-elected from Chikmagalur.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hegde, for joining us here on the broadcast, giving us the implications of this judgment against Rahul Gandhi and the status of defamation law and the success rate in defamation cases in the country. That's all we have time for on this broadcast. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.